And before I let you go, I will also pick one or two questions from the audience now with us. I think this question is more maybe for Patrick. I will read it through. The question here is that actually, even we have already built CI/CD to make code deploy to the production automatically, but in a big group with many applications integrated with each other to support the business. It's question that whether we should follow ITIL practice process to make production operation. How do you think?
From the early days, people in the DevOps community have thought about DevOps being incompatible with Agile. Incompatible with ITIL.
Right.
And we already talked about that. Like people have been discussing whether Agile and DevOps have been incompatible, yes or no. I believe, and I've read the 7 books, there is nothing in spirit against the ITIL practices helping DevOps people. They have written down a more formal process, but I do think you need to reread it with a more open mind, in a way that, let's say you have a change advisory board. You could say like every change needs to have like approvals. If you can free up the time of your change advisory board by having a lot of standard requests, and the standard requests have been automated, and the standard requests become self-servicing for others to do that same job, you don't need to treat those parts in your change advisory board anymore, because they're standard and don't take up time where the change advisory board should be discussing the hard impact. The change advisory board, taking that as an example again, is a good test to see how much friction something has to change in your organization. So if you have a lot of heated debate in your change advisory board, you probably see this come up in that part. Reliability, maintainability, all the entities that ITIL subscribes are equally important on DevOps. So yes, you need to have your catalog of services, but now, thanks to the new practices, we can have that more up to date. So who can be against that? So it is not one excluding the other as such, but you might, given that the books have been written quite some time ago, you might have to rethink that. But it's very similar to reread the Agile Manifesto and kind of think in the same spirit. That's what I would advise people. So it's not something against it, but look at it with a fresh set of technology, fresh set of practices, and translate the mentality, not per se what has been predominantly the practices in the ITIL for many years now. So, and I hear they're working on a new version of it as well, right? Son, you're probably familiar with that. And that will really make it more actual in a good way.
Right. Thanks, Patrick, for that. So I know that you mentioned yourself, you read all 7 ITIL books. I know even, I think 10 years, 15 years ago, yourself also has been ITIL certified with Exxon. So that means that you know how DevOps and Agile process can be compatible with each other. Still, you see in ITIL, we're talking about configuration, release management, which, it happens also a lot in DevOps practices. You're talking about the standard reporting of advisory board, and you're encouraging people to read the books again with ITIL, but with open mind, with back on the mind that of the Agile and DevOps practice, and that's maybe will help you to create the links. I think for the time, once again, I don't see more questions coming up. I would like to once again thank you both for your time, for your supporting for DevOps Days community. I know there's still a lot of questions, things that we can talk. But I'm hoping that we can having you back in the near future, either in this remote way or physically in one of the events. Thanks again for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Son, for the invitation, and I wish everybody a very nice evening, wherever you are.
Thanks, Arie. Thanks, Patrick. Have a nice evening too for you.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.